Prepare for the loading screen that will be your mind exploding from amazing gaming news. Are you expecting this? I bet you're not. Oh, let's do this.
Hello and welcome to Respawn TV. I'm your host Nate Quick, and this is your source for all things nerd culture. Let's start things off with this week's up-and-coming releases. You can look forward to seeing these titles and many more released throughout the month on your favorite platforms. This week's releases are Drawn to Death, April 4th for the PS4. This third-person shooter, combined with arena brawler, comes from the creator of Twisted Metal and God of War, and takes place within a teenager's notebook. Persona 5, also April 4th for the PS3 and PS4. This sequel to the extremely popular Persona series follows a silent protagonist that uses a mobile app to enter the Palace Realm, where Morgana convinces him to steal the emotional root of the people's bad behavior in an attempt to reform the city. Paradigm, April 5th for PC and Mac. This indie point-and-click adventure follows Paradigm, a horribly mutated, genetically grown person dumped in a post-Soviet European town to survive on his own. Bulletstorm Full Clip Edition, April 7th for PC, Xbox One, and PS4. This HD remaster of the 2011 title promises, quote, the full Bulletstorm experience, unquote, and includes all previous content remastered for modern consoles, as well as a Duke Nukem game mode with new lines recorded by the original voice actor. Yooka-Laylee, April 11th for PC, Mac, PS4, and Xbox One. This spiritual successor to the Banjo-Kazooie games features a chameleon named Yuka and a bat named Laylee, who embark on a collection-based quest to stop Capital B and Dr. Quack from converting all of the world's literature to pure profit. Keep tuned in each week to get news on up-and-coming release dates for new and exciting games. Up next, check out Beyond the Theory by Mackenzie Doherty.
Hey guys, it's Mackenzie Doherty and welcome back to Beyond the Theory, the show where we delve deeper into anime conspiracies. This week, we are going to be looking into Naruto. Naruto is about an adolescent ninja who searches constantly for recognition and dreams of becoming the Hokage, or the ninja in his village who is acknowledged as the leader and the strongest of all.
I missed.
Almost blew it. If I get too close, he can turn off my chakra, and there goes my jutsu.
One theory is that Metal Lee is the son of Lee and Tenten, but that's also mostly wishful thinking because evidence backing this up is them appearing next to each other in the last, along with other canon couples, and it is not confirmed who the mother actually is. Another theory is that this universe is the same as ours, but it took a turn at some point before the 1900s, thinking that Japan would never have been bombed and never came out of the isolation in the Naruto world.
That same day, a great celebration took place in the Hidden Leaf Village. After many years of war, a peace agreement had at last been reached with the Land of Lightning.
There is also a mainland, but no others specified, and they do seem to have some modern technology past the Industrial Revolution. Some believe the higher-ups in the land have set up a barrier jutsu, some sort of technology, to keep the influences of the modern world out, kind of like the samurai purge that ended in the 19th century. Someone in the Naruto world chose to preserve the ways of the ninja before the modern world rendered them obsolete. Others believe that it could possibly be Akatsuki's goal to collect all the Biju and use them to overthrow the government and control the ninja world by getting outside technology to make them more invincible.
You don't know what it's like to be branded with a mark that sets you apart. A mark that can never be wiped away!
Yet another theory is that Shin is actually Shisui. They believe that Shisui didn't die after falling from the cliff because he is an Uchiha, and they don't die that easy. It is believed he survived that long, and after the war, he found out about Itachi's death by the hands of Sasuke, Sui swore revenge on Itachi's death. Sashui then goes to Orochimaru to gain power and to make him the monster that he is. But this means he lacks information about everything because he wasn't connected to the world for years. This theory is supported by the fact that the same kanji character is used for Shin and Shisui.
やっぱり俺はまだまだ未熟なんだ。そんな俺が。俺、車輪ガンを開眼した。
お前は自分を騙すのがうまいからな。
All in all, this is a pretty interesting show, even though there aren't a bunch of crazy conspiracies surrounding it. This is Mackenzie Doherty, and you're watching Respawn TV.
Thanks, Mackenzie. Destiny fans are excited to hear confirmation on a project they've been speculating about for years. Destiny 2. On March 28th, the official Destiny YouTube channel released their Last Call teaser trailer, promising a full reveal on March 30th. The trailer depicted the Hunter Vanguard leader, Cage 6, voiced by Nathan Fillion, parodying the classic bar tale trope, describing a shootout during a meeting. This release coincides with the beginning of the final Destiny 1 event, the Age of Triumph. The Age of Triumph incorporates the long-awaited revamp of all old raids with new gear, new challenges, and max leveling, as well as weekly story playlists, new exotic quests, daybreak strikes, and their largest record book yet. Although popularity has dwindled significantly since the release of Destiny's final expansion, The Rise of Iron, players seem excited to get their hands on a fresh re-envisioning of the title, as well as having one last hurrah in their old favorites. We'll continue after some commercials, but first, here's Nelson Butler with Storyteller.
What's up, Respawners? Nelson Butler here with another game to criticize on Storyteller. This week, I'm reviewing Prince of Persia, The Forgotten Sands. This game had 4 different storylines for different game consoles. The version I'm reviewing is the PlayStation 4 and Xbox 360 version. This game takes place during the 7-year gap between the Sands of Time and the Warrior Within.
This must be what she meant by giving me more time.
Prince is traveling to go and pay his brother Malik a visit to learn the ways of a king. To his surprise, he finds him under attack from an army who is trying to steal a great power from their vaults known as Solomon's Army. Prince tries to help his brother, but it doesn't seem to be enough. Malik, desperate for options, releases Solomon's army with a magical seal. Doing this turns everyone into stone, except for Prince and Malik, who each have a piece of the seal. They get separated from each other, and Prince comes across a portal that takes him to another realm, where he meets a djinn of the Marid race named Razia.
We are Razia, Queen of the Marid, Guardian of the Waters, and ally to King Solomon himself. We help to seal that army away.
She tells Prince the only way Solomon's army can be resealed is if they reunite the pieces of the seal. However, Malik is enjoying the power of it as it absorbs the energy of the enemies and makes them stronger.
I must have killed hundreds, yet there are more. I can feel myself getting stronger as they die.
Little does he know, he's turning into the demon Rataj, so it's up to Prince to save his brother. Now, unlike the other series, the Prince of Persia has a few different elements to it. You're still able to do all your awesome parkour tricks, but now you have more powers than just to rewind time. Razia gives you the power of fire, earth, ice, and water. You even have the ability to bring the environment back to how it used to be, which allows you to travel further places. Having the elements gives you a more hectic way of traveling. Sometimes you have to use multiple elements while running, which can give your hands a finger trip trying to press the right buttons at the right time. As for the battle, it's completely different than what you're used to. You find yourself battling huge waves of enemies at the same time, but it only takes a few hits to knock them down. They put more emphasis on your powers, as you usually use those to defeat them, which is kind of disappointing because Prince of Persia's fighting techniques were the best things about the games. Now it just feels cartoonish in a way.
I'll keep that in mind.
The overall game is pretty enjoyable, but still has the same feeling of a traditional added-on sequel. It has very few characters and a very basic storyline. All the characters have personality, but you don't see them very often, especially since Malik and Prince always have some type of distance between them.
If we're going to reunite the pieces, I want you standing next to me.
I give this game a 7 out of 10. You won't regret it if you buy it, but it's a game you might only play once. That's all I got for this game. I'll see you guys next week on Storyteller.
Welcome back to Respawn TV. I'm your host, Nate Quick, and you just saw Nelson's Pack, Storyteller. Now we're going to premiere our brand new segment, where we'll take a look at some of the nerd culture right here in Maryville. Sean and Wyatt have our story.
This is Northwest IRL, and I'm Sean Nino, joined by Wyatt Bell. For Northwest IRL, we go around the campus and talk to people about anything and everything nerd culture. This week we asked people what movies were they looking forward to in the 2017 year. We had some pretty good responses. Here are some of them.
Well, I would say the new Thor movie, I definitely am looking forward to. The new Star Wars movie coming out late in December, that is definitely one. And one that I didn't think I would be interested in would be The Boss Baby. That looks like a really funny movie. And I know maybe aimed for children, but I've never been afraid to watch a children's movie. And you know, there's plenty of superhero movies like the new Wonder Woman movie or the Justice League or Spider-Man Homecoming. I don't need to see that. I'm just looking forward to the Thor, Boss Baby, and Star Wars.
No, one I'm really looking forward to is Spider-Man Homecoming. Just another revamp of Spider-Man, really, but I mean, based on how the Spider-Man was in the Civil War movie, pretty excited to see how he is and kind of how they add the whole Tony Stark aspect into the movie. One that's going to be good, that looks very, very scary, has to be It. I mean, that's just a revamp of the movie from the 80s, but those previews that just came out the other day, those are creepy.
The Justice League, I have a little bit of reservations, but I'm mostly on like the camp. I like the energy and like I like the comedy, and it seems like a lighter tone than Batman vs Superman. Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which the first one was unbelievably fun, so I imagine this one will be fun, and I'm a fan of Kurt Russell, so he's in it. Wonder Woman I think will be great, but I just don't know how that will turn out. We haven't had we need more female centered superhero movies, but it really has to prove itself in my mind first before, and so I'm on the fence about that one.
This has been Northwest IRL. For Wyatt Bell, I'm Sean Nino. We now send it back to the guys on Respawn TV.
Welcome back to Respawn TV. You just saw our newest segment, NWIRL. If your organization or your event would like to be featured on NWIRL, you can message Respawn on Facebook or email respawnknwt@gmail.com. Subject line, NWIRL. That's all lowercase NW_IRL. Apple 10.3 update for iOS devices released last week. And although it has a few new features like CarPlay improvements and a Find My AirPods app, what's really important is what's under the hood. iOS 10.3 converts all eligible iOS devices to the Apple File System, or APFS. Apple has been using the same hierarchical file system for 31 years now, and even the new HFS Plus can't recover from the fact that the system was designed for Macs with floppy or hard disks, not the solid-state storage that many devices and hard drives use today. The short-term result is nothing impressive, but users should expect to see a slight increase in read and write speeds on their devices, as well as a small increase in available space. This conversion will, however, lay the groundwork for a much bigger software changes, like a speculated switch to only 64-bit apps. We're going to take a short break for commercials, but first, here's Jack McCormick with Why.
Hello, Respawners, and welcome back to Why. You've obviously returned for more pointless life simulators, so let's get on with it. Today we'll be going up in smoke with Smoking Simulator. So if you recently quit smoking or are stuck at a dead-end job, I apologize in advance, because this one may hit close to home. This first-person game puts you at a monotonous desk job for a company, the company, and you are one stressed individual whose only coping mechanism is chain-smoking cigarettes. The cigarette at the top of your screen is essentially your life in this game. The cigarette indicates your stress level, and you need a constant flow of nicotine to suppress the rage building up inside you. If your cigarette runs out, the withdrawals become too much for you to handle, and you see red and start a rampage, assaulting cubicles and colleagues alike, prompting your boss to do the obvious.
You're fired.
The smoking area is your safe haven. You temporarily attempt to suffocate all your troubles away by filling those black lungs of yours with smoke, alongside your best friend, Guy on the Bench, who I can only assume is related to the guy on the couch from the movie Half-Baked.
Sincerely, the guy on the couch.
Against your doctor's wishes, you smoke your cigarette, which rejuvenates your cigarette life, and you're able to sustain sanity long enough to go and leave the safety of the smoking area and go tackle more office responsibilities. But you'll be back. They always come back. Your phone is the nemesis in this game, as all it does is deliver you horrible, stressful news that will take a huge drag off your cigarette life. You never know when that crappy little generic phone will rear its ugly head, or what horrors from the extremely generic contact names will bring you. Sometimes it's common stressful things. The city cuts your water off, or your boss is all up in your case. But sometimes life hits you with the old, wife is leaving you for your milkman, or you got your lover pregnant. You know, average life speed bumps we've all experienced one point in time. By this point in the game, we can all agree. Our nameless protagonist is kind of a scumbag. What with violent outbreaks and the impregnating of women he's having an affair with, so it should come as no surprise that when you're done with your work chores, you spend the rest of the time at the office searching high and low for loose cigarettes like the fiend you are. You invade your colleagues' workspaces and take their cigarettes right in front of them. You take used cigarettes from ashtrays outside. You'll even stoop as low to steal from your trusted friend, Guy on the Bench. Have you no shame? So how do you win this game? You don't. Much like real life, you just see how many days you can go without snapping and freaking out on your fellow colleagues. Nate, this has been Jack McCormick with Why? Now all this talk about cigarettes has been a real drag. Yeah, get it? Like taking a drag off a cigarette? Alright, Nate, I admit it, that wasn't my best one, but it's been a stressful week. Give me a break. Back to Respawn TV.
You just saw Jack's pack. Why? Thank you for watching Respawn TV. I'm Nate Quick. Project Delta is coming up next. Respawn TV and Delta air each week, Monday through Thursday at 8 o'clock p.m. And you can watch our content online at facebook.com/respawn8 and on KNWT's YouTube page. Hello and welcome to Project Delta. I am your host Nate Quick, and we are so excited to be joined by
Adam Bocart, making a grand return.
Excited to have you, Adam. What are we playing today?
Today we are playing Golf with Your Friends, an early access title from Blacklight Interactive.
All right. This has quickly become a favorite of Steam and also just kind of nerds and gamers like ourselves.
It's got a bit of a cult following, which is awesome because it's a very tight-knit community. The developers are still very active in listening to the wants of the people that are so passionate about this game. And
because it's not even fully released yet, is it?
No, it's still in early access, and you'll see by the graphics, it's very, very early access. It's very glitchy, it lags a lot, but I think that's some of the fun of it. And this isn't your typical mini golf game. You can jump, you can change shapes, you can change the gravity, you can manipulate anything, which is pretty in-depth for an early access title. And as you can see on our screen, it's kind of a cluster, but that's, I think, what brings people to it. It's an online game. You can do up to 12 people in a lobby, and I think right now we've got 10.
We've got 10 right now, which is pretty insane because the times we've played this outside of filming for Respawn, I think the most we've ever had is like 6 or maybe 8 at one point.
Something like that. But we've kind of started our own little following with it.
A little bit.
A lot of the marching band people. I presented the game to Nate, and he presented it to a few people, and it's just grown from there. So we have a community of probably 10 to 15 people that are pretty passionate about this game and pretty good at it.
And it's pretty easy to pick up. I mean, it's just a simple, you hold down to kind of build power, you release, you go that way, and just trying to make it in the hole as many times or as quickly as you can in as few strokes as possible. Really simple, also really cheap. The game's only $5.99 on Steam?
And that price hasn't changed. If you're lucky enough to get it on sale, it's 100% worth it. Like we said, this game is in early access, so there is more content coming out for it. They just recently released a Candyland map.
They did.
They're also working on an Aztec dinosaur map.
Awesome.
So this game's not going anywhere anytime soon, and it's fantastic because it's already wonderful in its current state.
I know I've been watching a lot of content, a lot of Twitch streamers and stuff for a time. This was the huge game to play because you could.
Sorry.
I think I hit. No, I hit it too. I actually hit the pole right at the start of it. I didn't even make it in. It's a really simple game, but it's also something you can get a lot of people in. And so it was kind of famous for having Twitch streamers that would play and just fill lobbies with people from the chat. And they would all play along in one game. You could play along with the Twitch streamers that you love to follow. So it's a really cool kind of draw in and tie in for online gaming, and especially services like Twitch and stuff like that, where they could live play along and watch themselves.
Yeah, it's a really good community-based, community-driven game, and I think that's what brings so many people towards it. Because if you look at the actual gameplay, it's not unlike any free mini golf game that you would find online.
Oh yeah.
But the fact that it's multiplayer online, the fact that the developers are so active in the community, I think that's why people are buying this game.
And it is indeed just a ton of fun to sit around and play, and to figure out how to get hole-in-ones in.
Par is 50 for the course, and Nate and I are to the point where we're averaging maybe like...
I think 34 is my lowest so far.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
okay.
I've been a little out of practice.
Most people in our group, we lagged out there. We average maybe 25 to 35 strokes, which means we're pretty good. But
I would say
I see these people play online that are getting like 19 strokes, and that just blows my mind. Because there are 5 courses. Each one is more screwed up than the last.
Each one's a full 18 holes too.
Exactly. And there's obstacles. It's literally like any mini golf game that you would go to, but you can do it from the comfort of your own home.
Which is definitely nice to also be able to just take and play wherever you go. With it being a Steam game, you can download it on any laptop, PC. It really doesn't take too much to run either. It's not going to drain not going to drain too much battery, memory, things like that. It's a really simple game that just keeps getting better and better, and is great. Is really oddly satisfying to get good at. Just the fact that you are just hitting a golf ball across a mini golf course, but sinking the hole-in-one or figuring out, oh, that gets me a whole lot closer to the pin, is this oddly satisfying feeling.
And if you are able to get into some of the other game modes where you can incorporate jumping or random shapes, oh, it becomes so infuriating. Like, this game is very satisfying when you're good at it, and when you're not, it's absolutely miserable to play, but you still love it. I can't get enough of this game, and I am absolute garbage when it comes to random shapes.
Oh yeah, random shapes. What are some of the star, hockey puck?
You can be an acorn. Or a cube. Imagine playing golf with a cube. It does not go well.
It does not. Surprisingly, one of the worst ones, I think they came out with it around Christmas, was just a holiday ornament. And it seems like it's a really simple, really close to a golf ball shape, and absolutely just kind of wreck shop when you're trying so hard. Some of the obstacles get nearly impossible to actually navigate.
Yeah, some of these courses are designed around long jumps and getting launched, and when you mess with the gravity or you mess with the shape, it literally becomes impossible. I remember we played one game on the Oasis, the Egyptian level, and we had manipulated the gravity to a point where the entire map became impossible, and we spent a solid half hour on one hole and nobody could make it, so we had to quit.
Yeah, was that time we played air hockey?
Yes.
We put it as all pucks and lowered the gravity. Everything was super slidey, and it was a ton of fun. I will say a lot of fun was had, but if you would have been there when we were playing it, was it ever heck to go through?
We were playing in the basement of the Union, and we were getting some looks because our group was probably 10-ish people, either playing or watching, and we were probably louder than we should have been. But that's just the kind of emotion this game brings out in you.
It definitely lives up to the title of Golf with Your Friends.
This game will create friends, and this game will destroy friendships, and I think that's what gaming's all about.
I would say that is a very, very solid argument for for gaming. The funny thing is, even friends of ours who didn't have the game would give us weird looks because there were 8 to 10 of us just sitting around a lunch table. We wouldn't talk to each other except, to call somebody out for knocking you out of the way.
And occasionally just scream at each other. Because
occasionally just screaming at each other. Occasional screams.
That's
not
part of the game.
Uncommon. But it was all online. Everyone's playing an online game together, but still having friend-to-friend interaction right there. As well as just there's 2 of us in studio right now, and there's another 8 people scattered around campus playing at the same time we are.
And the fact that this runs so well on the school laptops, I think is really what's gotten our following to really get this game. You don't have to have a powerful processor.
No.
I'm running mine on an old MacBook Pro, and it runs fine.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about the map that we're on.
The map we're on is currently, it's called Forest. It's arguably supposed to be the easiest map
I beg to differ.
All 4 or 5 maps, but is definitely one of the most fun.
I can't see.
Well, we will have to finish this later. We'll tell you guys the result of it, hopefully online if you follow us on Facebook or see this episode on YouTube. Adam, thank you so much for joining us.
It's my pleasure, anytime.
We're gonna finish this game out. See you guys.